forgive me.
Hey, what's good everybody? It's cjbeatz. We're back at it again today. Today we're gonna mix a beat in Logic Pro X. I did one of these years ago and I thought it, definitely is in need of an update, because I've changed in ways I've mixed my music, and I just want to let you guys know how I do it. I'm by no means a mix engineer or anything like that. I just use tools that Logic provides to, try to get the sound that I'm going for, basically. So I made a little beat here, and just real simple. I'm trying to keep these tutorials under 20 minutes at least, so not to bore you guys, but I got a piano, I got a bass sound, I got a kick, a clap, an 808, a snare, and a hi-hat in this. And I'm going to show you how I basically use different methods and techniques to bring certain sounds in the forefront, and just mix it to the best way that I can, so that all the elements of the beat basically fit together very well. That's basically all mixing is combining all of these sounds and making sure that all of these sounds are still audible, even though you're packing them all together. And that's my definition anyway of mixing. So when I create beats, I just want to let you know, when I create beats, I do all my leveling as I'm creating. Now, if you hit X on your keyboard, this will bring up your mix menu, and as you can see here, all of these sounds are already on different volume levels. So as I'm creating this beat, I'm always taking into consideration, okay, is that clap too loud? Is that kick too loud? What's going on with the 808? Is that overpowering everything? So as I'm creating, I'm already pre-mixing, so to speak. Anyway, that's a very important part. That's probably the most important part of mixing, is leveling. Making sure that everything, sits tight in the mix in terms of the volume levels. And it's going to be hard because you're going to try to figure out, what it sounds like on your studio monitors. What does it sound like on your cell phone, in your car? They're all, all of these environments have different dynamics. So it's important for you to, take your mixes and play them on different devices, so that you can make sure that, it sounds good on every device, be it a cell phone, like I said, car, etc., etc. So yeah, that's, a couple factors about mixing. Anyway, so leveling, I already did. As I'm creating the beat, I'm making sure that, all of these are, once again, at a level that I can work with. And probably the second most important thing that I want to mention is that you want to make sure that you're not peaking. All right, so on your master right here, you have your levels, right? And when you're creating the beat, try and keep all the levels so that the master is like at -3 decibels. That's how I do it, so that you leave headroom for the final mix, so that everything can be expanded more. Always think of it this way. It's good to start. You could do things louder later. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Don't worry about making things loud while you're leveling everything, because you could do that with EQing and compressing and whatnot. So I'll let you hear the beat really quick that I made. I'm not proud of this beat, to be honest with you, but it's just something I threw together really quick for this tutorial. Right now, that 808 is pretty muddy. Got your kick and a clap coming in. And your snare. Hi-hats. So right now you can tell, everything is, in terms of levels, seems right. Nothing's really overpowering certain things or other things. to the hook. Alright, so you heard all the elements of this beat, and we're gonna start mixing it now. So previously, in my mixing, what I used to do was track everything out first so that I'm only working with wave files. I no longer really do that just because of the fact that it takes a long time, and it's more time consuming, and I really don't hear a great difference if you're just mixing down your MIDI files. And I might be getting slaughtered for this right now because I'm taking shortcuts or whatever, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is, like, it's time management is everything, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't have time to track everything out and really spend that much time on your mix, this is an okay way of doing it. So the outcome of everything should sound pretty much the same. All right, now we're gonna work on the piano first. So what I like to do when I'm mixing is soloing certain things out first, right? So I'm soloing out the piano now, and right off the bat I'm going to start with an EQ to see what's happening in this frequency, or this frequency range, I should say. So you can see we have anything from 20 to about 10K occupying this range, right? Now we have to remember that certain sounds are going to occupy certain spaces of this EQ, right, or of this frequency range. And when we have two frequencies, let's for instance say this and the 808 play on top of each other, what happens is, like, over here, if I turn an EQ on this, if you match these up, you see you got a lot happening between 20 and 200, right? Not so much happening between 20 and 200 here, but there's still stuff happening. So to get a cleaner mix, what you can do, for instance, turn on the low cut filter right here, and then chop off anything from 20 to about 200. You can make it tighter by using this. Like that. All right, now basically what I did was, from the piano, I removed the frequencies anywhere from 200, so 20 to 200. So allowing the 808 to peek through that frequency range, if that makes sense. All right. So let me solo out this portion right here, and let's listen to that kick in combination to that piano. It seems kind of weak, right? Like it doesn't really peek through that much. So what we can do is we can use a compressor. Let me get rid of all of these here. My bad. What we can do is use a compressor. So under audio effects, it'll look like this basically. When you get this project file, it'll look like this. You can add stuff to it. So you're going to go to your compressor and go to Dynamics, Compressor, and Stereo Mode. And then what I like using is the preset under drums called Type U Tight Kit. And that really makes that kick pop. Now you can raise the volume too. Again, keep in mind we don't want to have the master, peek through too much. Now we only have two sounds going on, and it's at -6.4. So remember, I want to keep it at like no more than -3, maybe -2, something like that. Trap beats nowadays, you want to kick that overpowers. Well, I shouldn't say overpower, but that peaks through the most. You need a hard kick. And that's how you can do it in Logic, is that with that compressor and the Type U tight kit. Alright. Now let's work on this clap. Clap already sounds good. Like, I don't want to do too much to it. Sometimes less is more. So I'm just gonna go into the EQ here. Sorry, I'm just getting rid of all of these plugins here. Alright, so I'm gonna go back into the EQ for that clap. Even though you can't see the frequencies from 20 to 200 or whatever, they're still there. So it's always good to, like, just make it nice and tight. Keep that mix clean. And take a little bit of that high end off, just a little bit. I think volume wise, like, it could get maybe be a little louder. Again, keeping in mind, I don't want to go above a certain amount in the mix, on the master. Alright. I'm satisfied with that, so let's move on to the 808 here. Now we're already at negative 2.5, so what I'm going to do next here is, I wanted to mention first, the kick, or the 808 rather, I have in mono. Okay, the other ones are in stereo, but I have this track in mono. So if you're inserting a new track when you're creating the beat, this is a little off topic, but I just wanted to mention that 808 should be in mono, just because you want them in the center of the mix. You don't want to spread out your 808 in the stereo field. You want to keep it nice in the middle to really punch. Again, that's how I do it. If somebody's got to fucking roast me about that, please do. I'm always learning. But yeah, so let me just show you really quick here. I'm going to add a new instrument. So if you're adding like an 808 and you're using an EXS24, for those of you that watch my other tutorials, I use the EXS24 to build my 808s or whatever. You have the option of mono and stereo. If it doesn't pop up here, you're going to go to EXS24 sampler here. Use the mono, alright, not stereo for the 808, especially for the 808. Alright, now I just wanted to quickly cover that. Let me get rid of that track, and let's focus on mixing this 808. Now, there's this nice little thing. If you need to get to your mixer, you can hit X on your keyboard, and that will bring up your mixer window. So right here you have you have your pan for this 808 track. If you right click this and go to binaural pan, what this does basically, it brings up a panning technology. I think this is pretty much specific to Logic Pro X. I don't know if you have this binaural pan in other DAWs, but this basically emulates human hearing. It's fucking crazy. If you read on it, it's amazing what they do with this shit. It emulates human hearing, and what you could do here is, like, you see this ball? This basically indicates where in a stereo field around my head, the sound is coming from. And like, I was basically playing around with this, and I noticed, like, if you drop this sucker right in the middle, especially for these 808 sounds like that, like, you get a much heavier 808, something that really, like, punches you in the chest, versus being, like, just on the outside of the mix. It really does something to the 808. I'll let you hear it really quick, on and off. So, just trying to get this sucker right smack in the middle. Here we go. See, See, if I'm moving this around, you could tell like it's changing where that 808 sound is coming from. Alright, so I'm at negative 1.1. I think that's still okay. I know I said -3, -2, but hey, as long as we got a little bit of headroom, we're good. So you notice like that 808 is now a lot punchier, right? I'm going to turn it back to normal pan and let you hear the difference. Secondary snare. It's like, you know, the one that goes in between the claps. So I'm not too worried about like the, you know, it being mixed down too crazy. Maybe you could just we could just add an EQ. Maybe we can even cut a little bit of that high end off. Not too much. Hi-hat really quick here. So again, EQ, nothing happening on the low end. I like cutting off just a little bit of that high end on the hi-hat. All right, now let's go to this hook part. I just moved the loop over here. So now we got this this hook bass, right? So let me solo this out from everything else. And it's already got an EQ on it. And maybe we can cut some of this high end off. Accentuate. You see how I'm bringing this up? Like I'm accentuating that 500 to 1K range. And there's that little click noise. You hear that? Right there. So I'm going to bring that down a little more. You can still hear it. That's okay. All right, now what I did here was just basically, instead of bringing up the 500 to 1K range, just move this over and have that 500 to 700 range, you know, peak up a little bit. That's without the EQ. That's with. Sounds a little cleaner in my opinion. Bringing the volume up of that hook bass now. All right, so you know, once you're basically finished EQing everything and you know, panning everything, you could pan too in your mixes. I don't really want to go into that right now. We're already like 18 minutes in. I think I really covered the basics of a good mix, or what in my opinion is a good mix. So yeah, what we can do now is basically focus on the master. If you're you know, uploading beats to YouTube and other streaming media and stuff like that, you know, it's a good idea to sort of like give it a final master to boost everything up without, like, you know, distorting anything. I use a tool called Ozone 7 and Ozone 7 Elements rather. This is a very inexpensive mastering tool, and it gives you like that edge. You know what I mean? Like basically what it does is you know, take that final mix that you have and you know, it allows you to boost it up even more. So I'm going to let you hear it now. Hear this beat with this mastering tool on. Again, this is not a must, it's a recommendation. You have to pay for Ozone 7. I don't have a free version or nothing like that, so please don't ask me for that. But I'll let you just hear the difference, you know, and maybe that'll entice you to get this, because you got to invest in yourself, number one. If you want to sound good, spend some money. So I'm just using the maximizer a little bit here to expand that mix a little more. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I definitely enjoyed making it. If you have questions, you know what to do. Put those in the comments section. And yeah, my name's cjbeatz, and I'm out for now.